She heard the trees outside the cave lean into the wind, groaning with despair. Edme, a watch-wolf of the beyond, had never been in such thickly forested country before, nor had she been so far from the glowing nimbus of the ring of sacred volcanoes since her service on the watch began. But these were peculiar times, and now she wondered if the despair she heard in the creaking trees was simply an invention of her mind. She mused on this notion while she waited for Faolan to return from scouting. She was supposed to have been sleeping until her turn came to go out and look for tracks. Tracks of the herds that had never returned to the beyond, herds of caribou or lone travelers like moose or elk, but the animals had disappeared. The meat trail of the past summers had almost vanished. Ordinarily, by this moon there would have been a dozen or more herds passing through the extended territory of the ring of sacred volcanoes, and 10 times that through the rest of the beyond. But there had been only one herd so far, and the occasional stray. Wolf clans had to travel farther and farther to hunt, for the meat trail was dwindling. Might it simply vanish entirely? It was summer, the time of meat. That was what made it all the more puzzling. The moon of the flies was upon them, and yet the flies, too, had disappeared. The weather seemed to stutter between the hunger moons of winter and the raw, wet days of the cracking ice moon, the first moon of spring. One day brought warmth, and then the next brought freezing rain or even snow. The ice on the rivers hadn't really begun to crack until the moon of new antlers, months later than it should have. And even then, the ice seemed to hang on desperately. The moon of new antlers was supposed to bring the warm winds, but instead it brought ice storms, the last of which had backed into the moon of the flies. Behind it was a weather front that threatened a real blizzard, with clouds thickening and casting a glowering light over the beyond. The sun was becoming as elusive as the meat trail. Occasionally, the wolves had come across a lone caribou, but a single caribou, not even as large as a moose or an elk, could hardly provide enough meat to feed a pack, let alone a clan. And why would a caribou travel alone? They were herd animals. With the dwindling supply of meat came rumors as well of small violations of clan territorial boundaries. Perhaps most shocking of all, there were stories of clans not sharing information with one another, through scent posts or howling, about sightings of animals or herds on mutual borders. This was bad, and it had resulted, Edme realized, in the oddest change of all, a terrible silence in the beyond.